So, hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Turn 5 podcast, where it's week one of the dark days, the summer break, where we don't have a lot to talk about, to be honest.
So I gave us a whole schedule.
Yeah, we were going to do an entire support series roundup, and then we realised, wait, nothing else happens in the summer break, so we've split it up. This week we are...
Well,
What?
Singapore 2017 happens quite a lot in the summer, right?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Singapore 2017 happens all the time. It's
Yeah.
omnipresent. Omnipresent.
Well, according to the rules established in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the CVA, time is a flat circle, and everything happens at once. So, Singapore 2017 is happening right now.
Do you know what else is happening right now?
The end of
Singapore
this episode.
2008. Yeah. And the end of this episode. Anyway, let's get into the news. Because there has been a bit of news coming from Red Bull, and no, Sergio Perez has not been sacked.
Shock.
Yeah. Of all the people to be announced that leaving Red Bull over the past week, over the summer break, I didn't expect it to be Jonathan Wheatley, Red Bull's sporting director. The guy that you heard in Abu Dhabi in 2021 saying, "We just need one lap, Michael, please." One lap.
Look, I mean, in fairness, given everything that happened at the start of the year, you probably would have put him as the guy that would have taken over and to become team principal with Red Bull. Because that's realistically, in terms of Formula One, that is the only sort of progression left for him in team structure. And personally, I think he'd be more relieved that his promotion to team principal has come in this way than if it had come at the start of the season.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he has a lot less awkward questions to answer.
He's away to Audi?
Aye.
Yeah. Which is gone, because that means that it's not going to be Gunter Steiner.
True, yeah. But there's a sporting director opportunity at Red Bull now.
But it also probably means that Audi isn't going to go bust.
Yeah.
True.
I mean,
Michael, we just need one more lap. We'll look like a bunch of wankers.
This is where Audi go bankrupt next year. Oh, shit.
Fuck.
The overspent Jonathan Wheatley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we know where it's come from in Red Bull. It just turns out it's a food bill again.
Too many wings.
Jonathan Weetabix.
What I have seen on F1 social media this week, completely non-news related, there's been a lot of outpouring of love for the good old FIA radio that we don't get anymore. Even Red Bull got in on the action when someone put it on Threads of all the things. I seen it pop up on my Instagram, and Red Bull replied with just lots of the graphics around Michael Massey's face. Oh, I didn't expect that from the official account. But yeah, I miss it. It gave us great entertainment
and great controversy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it helps make that moment in Abu Dhabi or it shows how bad it really was.
I think it's a mix of both.
It showcased the failings in real time.
Yeah. Which is why we lost it. Had Abu Dhabi not happened, we would not have lost that.
Yeah. But they went, damn, this is a complete failure. Axed.
I want to know whose idea it was to put that in and think, yeah, let's listen to the team principals moan at the FIA. I
think it was a great idea. Absolute great idea.
Top bands.
Yeah. I remember
think it was a good idea.
The first
until
time we heard it as well, it came out of nowhere. It was just Toto screaming at Massey over Nikita Mazepin getting in the way.
yeah,
Which means it
It was
wasn't in the
just like,
first race because that didn't last long enough for us.
no, it was Spain. Spain was the first time we heard it.
Blue flags, Michael. He's costing us the race. Blue flags.
He's going to cost us the position. Then obviously we had them moaning in Silverstone where Total Wolff sent an email.
yeah.
Um,
I think that was the first like Dynamo. Does that make sense? Of like how badly this could go.
Then we had live
Can
negotiations
we
in
just
Saudi
pause a
Arabia.
second there? Did you just say Dynamo?
Yeah,
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 I was
yeah.
going to gloss over it,
Yeah.
and I'm away
I
with
said
it.
No,
it, I
we're
was
gonna
like,
shine a
that's
light
not
on
right.
this. A Dynamo.
This is stick with it.
Rest in
Okay.
peace, the English language.
Yeah. Well, I guess before live negotiations in Saudi Arabia, we had crashes in Baku.
Yeah.
With Red Bull basically saying, "Michael, the red flag, come on now." What else did we get?
A lot of mediocre stuff.
Yeah, that you don't really remember.
Yeah.
Live negotiations in Saudi Arabia.
And then the catastrophe of.
And then Abu Dhabi, yeah. Oh, didn't we also have Brazil? Actually, when there was the whole push wide moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically just Lewis and Verstappen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't so much
Constantly.
they two, it was just Toto Wolff and Christian Horner or Jonathan Wheatley.
Verstappen and Hamilton were always part of it.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was great entertainment, as we say, until it very much wasn't.
Yeah, until you could see the race just get manipulated in front of you. You'd be like, huh.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Funny! And now it's, shit, he's dominating instead.
Yeah.
But now we're at a point where maybe it's not. Ooh.
Yep,
Could get
F1 is
interesting.
spicy again. Bring back FIA radio.
Mm.
Now's the perfect time to bring it back.
Yeah, one of the guys at work that also watches Formula One said, why did it have to go on summer break? It was just getting interesting.
Yeah, it's just getting good.
And, like, fair enough. Yeah, it was. But also, we do need the summer break.
Yeah, and the good news is because there's a factory shutdown, there won't be a huge amount of upgrades brought to the next race. So it should hopefully remain interesting.
Anything that's brought to the next rounds will have already been in the pipeline for a while.
Yeah.
It's not like the off-season where it's just like, here's a whole bunch of parts for the first race of the season that we started working on 4 weeks ago. Instead of, hey guys, here's 3 months worth of work that we had to kind of delay because everyone got sent home for 4 weeks because apparently we're supposed to see our families or some shit.
Yeah. Well, it's only actually 2 weeks that they need to close
True,
for.
yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh wait, actually, there was. Oh no, did we cover the regulation changes last week? No.
No.
Regulation changes were announced.
Oh, Chris's favourite topic.
This is getting exciting.
The nerdgasm is coming.
Let me
see his face light up.
See, this is why I'm really glad I don't censor anymore, because I don't know what terms I can and can't use. Does nerdgasm need censoring, or do we just let it slide?
Mark it on
Nerdgasm's
Would
okay.
YouTube demonetize it, or is it okay?
All right, so there was an update to the technical regulations about brakes. Basically, not allowing a system or mechanism that can give asymmetric braking torques on a given axle. So you can't have
You can't have
your
left to
left wheel
right
given
braking
different.
bias.
Yeah.
Because that
No
helps
one quite
cornering.
knows. Yeah, no one quite knows why they've suddenly banned it. Whether a team has found a way to do it, a bit like DAS, and they've went, "Oh, bad," but that bad that they want to ban it immediately. Or if they've just discovered a loophole in their own regulations and went, "We should close this before we get a DAS."
Either way, I've not heard of a team using it, and I've not seen a team propel themselves up not substantially in the way that it doesn't sound like it would be such a massive gain either, because if you like everything that Formula One drivers say is you brake in a straight line and then you turn, otherwise you lock up. So differential brake bias across an axle doesn't seem to fit with that whole mantra of braking philosophy. So I feel like this probably is just oh hey guys, we've just spotted this like weird little loophole. We're just gonna shut this before you get any dumb ideas. So
yeah. But then again, if you think about DAS, it wasn't a huge advantage that launched Mercedes to the front.
Well,
it
no,
was
they
a
were already there
small
anyway.
thing, but yeah, it was a small thing that sort of added to it, and they didn't want the development race, and so they just went, "This will be banned. Don't do it." Whereas in this case, they just went, "This is banned. Cease." They have allowed mule car testing for basically 2026. So they can take an old chassis and make certain parts of it look like the 2026 car, to see how that goes. We
My money's
haven't.
on front and rear wing and side pods.
Yeah, we haven't had mule testing since 2017 when they were changing the size of the cars. But this will all basically be done in the background. We won't really see any of this.
Yeah, no, that'll be very hush hush.
They have closed the Fernando Alonso loophole, where he gained a benefit from retiring from a sprint race, where he was just given a time penalty, and it wasn't converted to a grid penalty. There's now an allowance for penalties to be moved from sprint to the race if you, even if you DNF and aren't classified and are technically classified, you can't get a 5-second time penalty.
Good.
And they've also fixed the Carlos in China conundrum during qualifying, where
the
whole
stopping
was
on
a
track.
car actually stopped. Yeah, the regulations now say that if you stop on track and receive physical assistance,
there we go,
you will not be allowed to take any further part in that session. So if you get the car going under your own accord, you're fine. But if you're pushed or any sort of assistance, you are out of the session.
I can see it now, where someone's frantically fanning about with the steering wheel, doing a reboot cycle, and an overeager marshal puts a hand on the car, and that immediately then rules them out. And it's like, well, actually, I was still trying. The marshal got in there too soon, and they're like, hey, but the rules, you out, buddy. So...
yeah.
Driver gets out and just lumps a marshal. Don't touch my car!
That
would be
was
like a marshal walking up to the car and like putting his hands on the side just to ask the driver to see if he needs help or whatever. And driver's like, no, I can reboot. And then the FIA would come in, no, you touched the car there, mate. Disqualified.
Well, that's actually what happened to George Russell in Silverstone in 2022. Where he
turns
went
around
to
and his
team,
car's getting towed, yeah.
Yeah, how do I switch the car back on? He came back and it's on a low loader. What the fuck?
Hey, this is a no waiting zone. We told you before, buddy. You gotta come down to the compound, pay the fine.
And thus concludes the regulation changes.
Excellent news.
It sounded like patch notes already, doesn't it?
It does.
F1 patch notes.
It's a handling update.
Yeah. You know, when the cars could turn 90 degrees non-stop, flat out. Yeah, stopped.
It's actually.
I don't know. It's still probably bad. Ask Chris. I bought the game and I haven't played it.
Yeah, no, that was still gripped for days.
Fuck's sake. This is why I haven't bought it.
Yeah.
Well, you've either got grip for days or it's oversteer as fuck.
Nice.
There's no in between.
Nice. Or as Chris would say, niece.
Knees.
Just wait till it's worth like 15 quid.
Yeah.
Probably Christmas time. Even then.
Yeah, Black Friday's coming up.
Still not.
The thing is, though, like, we have to get in our one race of co-op career, and that's it.
We do.
Just our one annual co-op career race.
We could do it right before the new game. Like, once the next game's announced, the price of this game should come down.
And remember, the next game will be made by the half of the department that can actually make Formula 1 games.
No, they just do the story bit.
Yeah, but the game is usually more playable as well.
But the handling engine is like universal.
But if they do like 1 year, the handling department's different to the next, then whoever's on it now done 2022 and 2024, which have arguably been some of the worst handling models in the F1 game's history.
Yeah, like if you think 2020 was probably the best we've had of the 20s. 2021 was all right. 2022 was ass. 2023 was getting better, and 2024 was ass. So it's whoever releases the story mode also does a half decent handling model. Whoever doesn't, it's just ass.
Sweet.
Ooh, F1 World. No one gives a fuck.
Yeet. Right. Is it time?
Yes. I don't think there's anything else to talk about.
Excellent, because I wasted my afternoon making a spreadsheet.
Oh.
I have spent zero time actually doing any data analysis on.
Oh.
So I just have all of the finishing positions from qualifying sprint races and feature races of every round so far in the Formula 2 season.
Fantastic.
Let's start with just an overview of the standings. I'll run you through everything as is, and then we'll go round by round, who did well, who didn't. Right, so last, Rafael Villagomez on 9 points. 21st, Roman Stanek on 14th. Taylor Barnard is in 20th on 18. Joshua Durskin is on 25 points. Ritomo Miata is on 29 points. Amory Cordial is also on 29 points, but leads on countback. Juan Manuel Correa is on 31 points. Oliver Berman is in 15th on 34 points. Pepe Marti is on 38. Richard Vishaw is on 45. Victor Martins on 57. Enzo Fittipaldi on 58. Zach O'Sullivan on 59. Kush Miney on 74. Dennis Hauger on 83. Kimi Antonelli on 87, Franco Colapinto on 96, Jack Crawford on 100, Zane Maloney on 111, Paul Aron on 124, Gabriel Bortoletto on 129, and Isaac Hadjar with a healthy lead on 165.
It doesn't excuse the rest of the poor season, but it should be noted, just for noting its sake, that Ollie Behrman did miss a round by going to compete for Ferrari.
He did, yep. He missed Saudi Arabia. So normally in a situation like that, there would be a 23rd driver on the list, but because it was announced so late in the day, they just didn't run a second car.
I think it was because it was after qualifying, so
yeah, good point.
You're not allowed to enter a new car. Yeah,
very good point. I hope they paid them a nice little fee.
Oh God, yeah. Because I think Ollie Behrman actually had taken pole for Saudi Arabia,
and then Kush Miney inherited it.
Yeah.
So, damn. Yeah, because Kush Miney took the 2 points for pole and finished second, and Enzo Fittipaldi took the point for fastest lap and finished first.
Yeah.
Good weekends. Well, right off the rip, Zane Maloney scored 36 points on the opening weekend. It's kind of hard to argue. That's a good start to the weekend.
I can't remember what the max is in Formula 2. You've got
11
20,
plus 28.
26.
Because the 2 points for pole get added on for the feature race.
Yeah.
So
39.
39 points. And he got 36 of them. He just didn't get the fastest lap or pole.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he won both races. So
Yeah.
you can't argue with that then.
Yeah. Next time out, couple of decent weekends. Dennis Hauger won the sprint race and came third in the feature race. And Enzo Fittipaldi got 32 points. Got 6 points in the sprint and won the feature race with the fastest lap, as I said earlier. So that's a good second round. Sorry, I've got horrendous hiccups. Third round, not quite the same caliber as standard, but Isaac Hadjar got 29 points across both races, winning the feature race.
Where are we for round 3?
Melbourne.
I've completely lost track of their calendar. I can't remember where they've been or not.
It's not the same as Formula 1. Round 4, Imola. Again, Isaac Hadjar was the top scoring driver that weekend. Didn't score anything in the sprint race, but won the feature race. Monaco was round 5. Top scoring driver across the weekend was Zach O'Sullivan for the we don't pit till the last possible fucking lap strategy, because we just wanted a yellow and he got it.
He got it.
Nutty strategy. It worked.
Paid off.
Yeah. Got lucky. Sometimes you make your own luck.
Of all the places to do it, Monaco was the right place to do that.
Yeah. Jack Crawford scored 30 points in Barcelona for round 6. 5 in the sprint race and winning the feature race. Gabriel Bortoletto did exactly the same thing in Spielberg. Isaac Hadjar scored 27 points, winning the feature race with the fastest lap. Otherwise, Zane Maloney got second place in the feature race and scored 8 points in the sprint race. So 26 points there. Decent haul as well. Budapest, Antonelli won the feature race, and that was sort of the best of that. Victor Martins actually equal to him on points. 8 in the sprint race and 18 in the feature race. And last but not least, Spa. Isaac Hadjar winning the feature race. Gabriel Bortoletto finishing second with the fastest lap for 19 points. Jack Crawford getting 1 from the sprint and third place in the feature race for 16 points. And Zach O'Sullivan 5 in the sprint and 12 in the feature race for 17 points. So Zane Maloney had the biggest scoring weekend, but other than that, it's sort of been you've won the feature race, and that's where people have got their points.
Feature race in Spa has put a spanner in the works of the championship for Paul Aaron. His DNF there on the last lap has probably cost him any chance of the championship.
Yeah,
barring a massive swing.
Yeah, he just picked up 2 points for pole position in that whole weekend. I'm just having a look. Out of the top runners, Isaac Hadjar had a pointless weekend in Saudi Arabia. Gabriel Bortoletto in second had back-to-back pointless weekends in Saudi Arabia and Australia, but then went on a 10-race point-scoring streak.
Yeah.
Before not scoring in the sprint race of Budapest, but scored in both following feature races. So he's not scored in either sprint race since he broke his streak, but scored well in both feature races. Paul Aron's pointless weekend came at Silverstone.
Yeah, if I remember rightly, his engine died in the sprint race, and Pepe Marti just went into the back of him. And I'm trying to remember what happened in the feature, whether he just wasn't there or if he was involved in an incident.
I think. Let me have a look at my spreadsheet. Paul Aron, Silverstone. No, he was just outside the points. He finished where he qualified. So, but I think that was that the rain affected one, or was the sprint the rain affected one?
The sprint was the rain affected
Sprint was
one. It
rain.
was a lights to flag win from Antonelli.
Yeah.
With the fastest lap as well.
Yeah.
Just to really rub it in. Zane Maloney, 2 different pointless weekends for him. Spielberg and Budapest. 2 pointless weekends for Crawford as well. Monaco and Budapest. I mean, they're both tricky to overtake tracks, so you can kind of understand those. And Franco Colapinto's had 2 as well, with Saudi Arabia and Spa. So.
Aaron ran the alternative strategy in Silverstone because he didn't pit until lap 28 of 29.
He tried to do a Zach.
Yeah, pretty much.
It didn't work for him. I mean, if you're starting outside the points, you may as well roll the dice. But didn't pay off that time. So, unfortunate.
No. I'm actually just going to take a quick look at the classification thread to see how far out of the points he finished. He finished 12th.
Yeah.
6.5 seconds off the points.
Not a million miles away, but, no points is no points, so.
Yeah. 29 laps in the he pitted on lap 28, which is a wild strategy to try, but if it works, it works. Sadly, in this case, it just didn't. That race was won by Hajar, actually. Antonelli would have had a really good weekend in Silverstone. As I say, dominant lights to flag victory in the sprint. But what I didn't notice during the weekend, it was only on seeing the highlights and stuff back, he actually got taken out at Village on lap 1 of the feature. He was on fire that weekend.
He was. He was doing really well. He was definitely the man to beat. So yeah, no, unfortunate that he got wiped out.
I think he definitely would have improved from his qualifying 10th position.
Equally unfortunate because wasn't that the round that they first got done for dry ice coming out the back of the car?
Yes, and they received the suspended grid drop, which has now been triggered.
Yep, and served.
But it should be noted that it wasn't Antonelli's car. It was the other Prema.
I think it was Antonelli's car.
No, not at Silverstone. It was the other Prema. But the stewards said in their document for Spa that we know it wasn't Antonelli, but the penalty was applied to the team, not the driver.
Womp womp. So Behrman's got away with one. I think technically Behrman got a penalty as well, didn't he? They both had grid penalties, but Behrman's was for crash.
The team, yeah. But yeah, the team were fined for Behrman's incident at Silverstone and given a suspended 5-place grid drop. Only for it to happen again to Antonelli's car, and the stewards went, "Here's your suspended 5 places, and because you've done it before, here's another 5 places." So Antonelli's taken a 10-place grid penalty through no fault of his own.
DJ Khaled. Another one.
Another one. Whereas Behrman just straight up caused the collision on lap 1. I think he's only gotten 5 places.
How savage would it be? Sorry, real random thought that's just popped in here. You know, we talked about at Spa the Formula 3 track limits. How savage would it be?
101 violations, yeah.
How savage would it be to be a race engineer that instead of just telling your driver they've been hit with they've gone over track limits, you just have DJ Khaled soundboard. Another one.
Another one.
Every lap.
Should do that.
Another.
Do that in Formula 1. Just in Austria or something, one of the big track limits.
Austria wasn't actually that bad this year.
Yeah, probably because they put gravel on the outside of all the
Gravel
dodgy
straps.
corners.
I think they've found the solution.
Yeah.
Well, unless the driver's Lando Norris.
Sure. So
I actually watched a video from the FIA about that, and they were saying it was really difficult to come to like a solution with the track because it doesn't just need to work for us; it needs to work for the bikes as well.
yeah, bikes are big at that circuit, so.
But yeah, they seem to have found at least a temporary solution, and they're still working on making a more permanent one. But
I mean, that works for me.
it's a start.
So I like it. It's enough of a deterrent, but it's also you've still got the tarmac behind it as a good runoff. So
yeah, if something goes wrong,
yeah, there's not the inherent safety risk of the car's just going to pitch into the gravel and roll, which is kind of what the issue was getting towards. It's just we've slowed you down a bit, but hey, some tarmac on the other side, my guy. Just get back up to speed and rejoin in an unsafe manner.
The issue would be as if your bike.
Yeah, because that width of gravel is probably like adios, amigo, and then you land on on the tarmac. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it plays out with the bikes, but
I think they've probably already been to Austria. I know they were at Silverstone yesterday.
I've seen a lot on social media about them being at Silverstone. Apparently,
yeah, I saw an interview from some marketing or whoever it was, managing director, I think was his title, and they didn't blame Max Verstappen dominance for the lack of ticket sales. They just blamed the lack of a home hero.
Oh.
Ain't that a fucking change of tune?
I will say I know we absolutely slated Silverstone for Formula 1. I did look at the prices for MotoGP out of sheer curiosity to compare them between that and Formula 1. MotoGP is very affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that
like there was
Rossi's retired from.
So nobody cares anymore.
There was hospitality tickets for MotoGP available for less than what I paid for my Formula 1 ticket.
Yeah, that's why nobody's coming. It's Max Verstappen.
Yeah, exactly.
I also don't think MotoGP helps that it's like behind TNT Sports. Like you don't really see it advertised much, do you?
Formula 1's behind Sky. You still got to pay for it, you know.
Fucking see
you've got Sky Sports
everywhere.
F1 though, and like it's got its own channel.
No, I see what you mean, but like, it's still behind a paywall of sorts, isn't it? So
yeah,
Formula 1 is Formula 1. It's like the world championship in motorsport.
Yeah, MotoGP is
the championship for two wheels.
It's just that no one gives a shit about bikes.
I was going to say, if you talk to anyone and be like, "Have you heard of Formula 1?" They probably have. But if you talk to your average Joe, and be like, "Hey, you heard of MotoGP?" They'll be like, "No."
Yeah, just be careful if you ask like recently birthed mothers, where you ask them what Formula 1 is, because they might think it's baby food.
Yeah.
So your kid tried Formula 1. You just fucking matched it.
Have you tried Formula 1? Turn your baby into a Max Verstappen. Wait, no, nobody wants that.
Just fucking slamming desks. Flipping shit.
Turn your baby into Toto Wolff.
Yeah.
It's quite funny. Like
Juiced up kid.
my nephew, who is turning 1 in a few days, was in at mine, absolutely kicking off. I had the Grand Prix on. It caught his eye just sharp. I'm like, yes, learn young. Formula One is where it's at.
It's pretty much how it happened for me, to be honest. It's
Yeah.
just at home. Dad's just gone, boop, Formula One. And I'm just sat there
Yeah.
like, what is this witchcraft?
Cargo fast.
Yeah. Oh, man, funny name. Who is first name, last name? Yeah, that was a bit after my introduction.
Yeah, indeed. First name, last name, the well-known multi-time world champion of Formula One.
Record race winner.
Exactly.
So MotoGP is going to Austria next in 9 days.
So yeah, we will
Nice.
see. Wait, in 9 days?
Yeah, that sounds quite weird, doesn't it? 9 days.
Yeah, that's not a
That's
Sunday.
what it says. Well,
That's
it says.
Wednesday.
It says 9 days.
What's the
Right.
dates?
Love a midweek race.
As I say, yeah. What's the actual dates of that race?
It's the 16th to the 18th.
That's the
So it's
weekend.
just not 9 days then.
Yeah.
That's in 11 days.
I don't know why it says 9 days.
Somebody done goofed on the programming.
It says 9 days, 15 hours.
Oh my god. That's
So,
brilliant. Is that until
they're
like
counting down to
practice
the
starts?
Thursday, yeah. But even then, that's the
Yeah, but
15th
even-
they're counting down till.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but with the 15 hours on top, make it 10.
Yeah, 9 days takes you to the 14th. 15 hours takes you to the 15th.
Yeah.
They're counting
Which is
down,
the
right?
Thursday.
I got it. They're counting down.
Until the press conference.
Pre-event press conference. Yes.
Got it.
And then
Nailed
Could
it.
you
And then you
imagine
got the
if Formula
podcast.
One had like the countdown until the driver's press conference on their website?
I think the really weird thing is that they have an authentic site as well, in which you can buy your own MotoGP World Championship trophy.
Get on. I'm going to be a world champion.
How much is that?
Well, it's reserved at 4.28k. I might submit a bid.
Pocket change. Get a bid in.
Would I be bankrupt? Yes, I would.
Yeah,
Is
I'd
it
like
worth
to.
it?
I'd like to
Yes,
apply
it
for a
would.
loan. What for? Oh, business expenses.
But yeah, there was a lot of empty seats at Silverstone this weekend. I was rather shocked to see that the grandstands that you could buy a reserved seat in were such an odd selection. And all
Yeah.
the other ones were just roving. I'm like, wait, Beckett's is a roving grandstand. What is this witchcraft?
Well, it's a very different sequence of corners for bikes, isn't it? So.
I would still say though it's probably the best grandstand in the circuit, just because of how much you can see.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like if you put yourself right in the middle of the grandstand, you can see from Village through the loop, down the Wellington straight, obviously through the Beckett's Hesses, and then also down the the Hanger straight.
Nice.
And if you're near the back of the grandstand, you can see Vale as well.
Oh, nice.
You can see so much from that grandstand. That's really good. But yeah, I was like, wait, I can pay like 50 quid and just sit in Beckett's and not 560.
Yeah.
What is this? How can I apply this sorcery to Formula One?
You should get into MotoGP, Chris. You can own the checkered flag of the Aragon Grand Prix.
Like, you can own a square of the checkered flag in Formula One as well.
But you could have the
From
actual
F1
the actual flag.
Well, the whole flag.
I would guess so.
How
It
much
says
is the
own
whole
the checkered
flag?
flag. It says 75 quid.
Bargain.
How much? Wait, 75 quid, did you say?
Yeah,
Wow, that's cheap.
it might just be.
Let me go on to F1 Authentics.
I
Hold
thought it
on.
was 20 quid a square, wasn't it? No, 200 quid a square.
So yeah, technical gremlins resolved. We were talking about checkered flags. It's £75 to own the checkered flag in MotoGP. Guess how much it is, Richard, for the Las Vegas Grand Prix?
Oh god, I dread to think. 5,000.
Not quite. £1,000 for a square of the checkered flag.
Just a square. Okay, fuck
One
off.
square.
How many squares are on a checker flag?
I don't know.
At
Is there a
least
good
3.
at least
It's,
three?
it's at least £3,000.
Okay, hold on. That's a good photo of the checkered flag. No, I don't want that photo. I want the different one where I can count squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8 by 80.
80 grand from a flag.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
On
that
it
they're going
says
to chop up and put
take
some.
ownership of one of 160 squares per flag.
Eh?
Maybe it's double
So
weaved.
there's
Front and back side.
160. So the revenue for Las Vegas is
Why?
if everyone buys their square, they're gonna get 160k.
Yeah.
That's only if everyone buys one.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Sad people will.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. If Chris had money, he'd buy the fucking flag.
I'd buy all 160 squares.
Is that a pettiness and make your name the only name on the flag? So it just
Yeah.
says fucking Chris 160 times.
Do you want a table made out of a front wheel rim from the 2021 Mercedes Formula One car?
£5,000.
Is that one that Verstappen crashed
You're
into?
not far off. It's £4,500. You want a table made out of a 2017 rear wing main-plane? £6,500. Who is buying these things? Why are people buying these things?
Rich people
Yep.
to leave in massive atriums
Let's
of
be
their
honest,
big houses
if
that are
any of
empty.
If any of us magically won the lottery, we'd go on this website and have a fucking field day.
Mate, I'm popping back to Selfridges. I'm going back into that basement, posing for another picture with that life-size model of that car, and then cleaning out the entire department.
You can buy a lamp made out of a wheel nut from the 2014 Mercedes car for just £600
Jesus Christ.
for a lamp.
Yep. Love that. Right.
Anyway, back to Formula 2.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
say.
God,
there
that's
are.
all. Hold on a second.
Oh, fucking
You
hell.
can get a McLaren F1 team brake disc lamp. Guess the year.
2010.
2012.
2017. So
Oh,
it's not
God.
even a good McLaren. It's a
How
shit one.
much?
£1,000.
Fucking hell.
He makes me sick.
It's actually insane. You can just buy a bit of a brake pad for. Wait, is that? Yeah, you can buy a branded brake pad for £99 to put on your desk.
Cool. Anyway, there are 4 rounds left of the Formula 2 Championship.
Yes.
Monza, Baku, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi.
It should be noted that after Monza, we may be able to do these in a normal episode because Monza is the Formula 3 season finale.
Don't forget the F1 Academy to cover.
Oh yeah, I forgot about them.
See? Unbelievable. That's what I don't get. They've updated the F1 website, so you know at the top it's got like F1, F2, F3, and F1 Academy.
Yeah.
But if you click F2, it's not there.
Yeah. If you
like,
click F1 Academy, the others
just
aren't there
F1,
either.
yeah.
It's just F1.
Yeah, so they've got 4 rounds left as well. So. But anyway, F2, 4 rounds left. So what did we say it was? 39 points?
39 points, yeah.
So that's 156 points available.
Let's quickly double check that. We'll see if your sums are right.
It's 40 times 4 minus 4.
You are indeed correct.
So technically, the championship is still on for a lot of drivers. Realistically, I'd say it's between the top 3.
Yeah.
And
even then, it would be a miracle for Aaron to come back.
Yeah, I think Zane Maloney is just too far outside, but he's one of the people that you'd look to disrupt things. Like, he can be the driver that stops Hadjar winning a race and stops him getting those extra points. He can be the driver that actually stops Aaron getting through the pack and therefore increases Hadjar's points lead. He's one of those drivers. He's got good pace, and he scores consistently.
Yeah.
Most of the time. In recent rounds, it's been a bit off. But
something we didn't pick up on, actually. The top 3 all scored no points in the Spa Sprint.
Yeah. Well, only 5 drivers did, remember? It was a...
it was reduced points, wasn't it?
Truncated race. So... because, like... Behrman and Antonelli had all made good moves and they were making their way up, but they were in the top 10, but not far enough up to receive points. They probably were in points paying positions had it gone the full distance.
We can check that.
Well, to be honest, by the time it reached full distance, they'd have been... they'd have probably overtaken a few more people because they were absolutely flying.
Yeah, Antonelli was 6th, Behrman was 7th.
Yeah. So those are both points paying positions. In a normal sprint, Behrman would have received 2 points.
2.
And Antonelli 3, I believe.
Oh, right. I had the drivers the wrong way around. That's why.
I think it's 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And
I thought it was just 10, 9, but you might
or
be wrong.
10, 8, 6, maybe?
Oh, yeah, it's just the top 8, isn't it?
Yeah.
Correct. Good point. Oh.
But yeah, obviously truncated, so we got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done.
Yep.
It's like the good old Formula 1 points paying systems.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you finished in the top. You finished in the top step. Have 3 points.
Right. So let's. I just want to go over the top 3 basically, and their current point scoring form. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. There's only been 8 races. That's features and sprint that Hadjar hasn't scored in this season. But when he has scored, he's scored big.
Yeah. For Aaron, there's only 4 that he's not scored in, but he has had quite a few low-scoring rounds. Jeddah only picked up 10 points, Imola 16, at Silverstone none, Budapest 5, and Spa 2.
He's yet to win.
Yeah. Yeah, his best finish is 2nd place.
Yeah. It shows you that, you can still be in with a shout with good, consistent point scoring. Yeah. But the difference between him and the 2 drivers in front of him are the two drivers in front of him have both stood on the top step.
Yes. Yep. Bortoleto in the Spielberg feature.
Yeah.
And Hajar in both in the Melbourne feature, Imola feature, Silverstone feature, and Spa feature.
Yeah.
No sprint race wins for Hajar, that being said.
Let me just have a look at this. Isaac Hajar.
50401300070 is his sprint race scoring thing.
Which
Because
is interesting considering his qualifying positions.
yeah,
So,
you've made that big points thing. Formula 2 does it for you on their website.
what? Huh? I've got all of the rounds though, like qualifying included.
Oh yeah, they don't show qualifying,
Yeah.
but they show points from the feature, sprint and feature.
Yeah, no, I've got the points thing loaded up, but I've got positions. So, a bit different. Same thing, but a bit different. But so like opening round, he qualified second. Saudi Arabia, he qualified 8th. Australia 8th. Imola for 3rd. Monaco, bit bizarre format, obviously, because it's split grid. He qualified second in his group, which meant he lined up 3rd.
Yeah.
Because his group won. Spa. Spain, I've abbreviated to SPA. Spain, he qualified 11th. So that's the first time in the season he's qualified outside the top 10 and therefore outside the reverse grid.
And still got 10 points. So that's what?
He finished 6th in the sprint race and 5th in the feature race. He qualified 7th in Austria.
Again, still scored 15 points. So it's the comeback drives as well.
Well, he finished 13th in the sprint race, so that wasn't great. There was a couple of incidents in that, so Austria was a bit messy. In Britain, he was on pole.
Yep.
In pardon me. Sorry. In Hungary, he qualified 3rd, and in Belgium, he qualified 3rd.
Yeah, so only one pole position.
Yeah. But he's shown he's been able to come through the field when he's needed to.
Yeah. I think when we're thinking about drivers that we are looking to be promoted into Formula One, obviously we always want the championship winner to go up, because that really should be the prize for winning, is Formula One. But you don't want drivers who are always having to fight through the field. Although that looks good, Formula One teams will also want qualifying performances.
Yeah.
Especially the teams lower down the grid who may not have the race pace on a Sunday, where we need to see it on a Saturday, so you can maybe cause an upset.
Yeah.
Like if you go into a Haas, being able to fight through the field, okay. I guess this season the Haas isn't the worst, but you go into Sauber then, in terms of this season.
Yeah.
Okay, you can fight through the field, but you're going to be at the back.
Yeah. It's no good being able to fight if you're 2 seconds a lap slower and everyone else is just driving off into the distance.
But if you can stick it and, let's say, through some miracle, Sauber got to Q3 in Monaco. Points.
The bus.
Yeah, like that's points in essence.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to deliver both. But it should be noted, Formula 2 is a spec championship. They all have the same car. So it is very much down to the driver, and not so much as it is in Formula 1, where it's down to driver and car.
I think that's about our insights into Formula 2, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's looking like, if everything continues as is, Hajar will waltz away with it.
Yeah.
At some stage in the next couple of rounds. there is obviously still room for the other drivers to have an impact, but it's at this point, I would say, this is Hadjar's championship to lose.
Yeah, well, with the gap
Yeah.
the way it is, let's say the gap doesn't change, he would win it with a round to go.
Yeah, he's got 36 points to the nearest competitor. So
yeah, not with a round to go then, with a race.
After the sprint race, he'd be fine.
Yeah.
Um,
But there is a lot can happen. Like, Baku is a wild circuit.
yeah.
That wasn't. No, it was Bahrain that Charles Leclerc pit in the sprint race and still won. But yeah, Baku, anything can happen. Any overcook a corner, and that's the race done. Or do that in qualifying, you're 22nd, and you've got no chance of point.
Yeah.
Yeah, qualifying's going to be the big one, isn't it? Monza, Baku.
Monza, not so much. Monza's an overtaking
But
track,
Monza's,
especially for the junior formula.
No, but for qualifying, they're all going to grid up next to each other, aren't they? And slow down before Parabolica and
oh god,
create
Formula
traffic.
3 qualifying is going to be insane.
Yeah.
30
we thought
cars.
Spa was bad. We've not been to Monza.
You sweet summer child.
We've got Qatar to go to, which is if I remember rightly, an unknown quantity for Formula 2 cars.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm actually quite excited for
Don't
that.
think we've been before.
It's
might actually.
It's likely to be one of those ones where track limits penalties will come into effect. Because it's a MotoGP circuit by nature. So there is a lot of tarmac runoff.
Then again, Formula 1 didn't have a lot of issues with track limits penalties as in stewards. It was just track limits penalties as in you go off and we eat your front wing.
Well, it's true, there were some time penalties and laps invalidated in qualifying, etc. Which we
were there last
see.
year, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yes, because we skipped 2022 because of the World Cup and went back last year. I'm just going to have a look and see in terms of track limits in the race.
I don't think it was as bad because they changed it since 21.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Apparently, they've randomly uploaded the post-race checks of Lando Norris's car have been uploaded to the FIA's website. Or, I mean, it's car 4, but they've logged it as season 2015.
Nice.
There is
But
from
he
this year's
was in-
Japanese Grand Prix.
What, from the Renault then?
No, for Formula 1.
Yeah, but Lando.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
2015.
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. I don't know. Qatar. There we go. Race deleted lap times. We had a grand total of... Oh, there was actually quite a lot. 51 lap times deleted.
He's in the fucking Genettas. Actually, no, that's a lie. He's an F4. Sorry.
I'm gonna have to upgrade my. I'm gonna have to put my fan noise gate filter on because it's raining.
No.
But I'm actually
He's in
really
Renault 2016.
Yeah, so there was quite a few. Stroll got a time penalty.
Shock.
Gasly got 2. Sorry, Gasly got 3.
Oh.
23. Who's 23 again?
Albon
got 2. Who else? Perez got 3.
Lol.
And Alonso got 1 for leaving the track and rejoining unsafely.
Nice.
And Lewis Hamilton got 1 for entering the track on foot.
Yes, because...
Oh, yeah. He crossed the track, didn't he?
Oh.
Naughty.
Yeah.
So he didn't leave the track. He entered it. That was bad too.
Yeah. He crashed on the
Wasn't
outside and he walked to the inside.
wasn't that the role model race?
Role model race.
Yeah, remember the stewards mentioned like giving the driver's position as a role model.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and everybody's like, "What? How?
You were the chosen one.
You were the chosen, and yet you have entered the
You were
track."
said to bring safety to the sport.
You have
Not
betrayed
bring
us.
it into darkness. Anyway.
So yeah,
Clearly
the
Star
track.
Wars I've watched.
Upon reflection, track limits may actually be interesting in Lusail, and then we go to Abu Dhabi,
Which
which,
is
because it's a junior formula, will not be a snooze fest.
yes.
Yeah, but
Well,
still
there
the
might
six.
still be a championship on the line by that point. So
Yeah, exactly. So when we get to Abu Dhabi, don't watch Formula One. Just watch Formula Two.
Yeah.
You will be
Right.
entertained.
You can watch F1 qualifying.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, true.
right. Formula 3
but yeah.
next week.
Indeed, it is.
There's even more drivers for us to go through, and I cannot wait to hear Chris
Yes.
absolutely butcher some of these.
Oh God, yeah. Anyway, that wraps up this week's episode. Unless anyone's got anything else they want to bring up.
oh yeah, some of these names are oof.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Save it.
Oh my
Save
god.
it. Have you just seen the Indian one?
I've
Starts
seen the
with an
driver
I.
that's in. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Save it. Save it.
Hold on. I need to look. I'm not going to
Wrap up.
I just need
Wrap
to
up.
look.
Wrap
that's
up.
it.
What team does he drive for?
Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching the
We'll
75
see you next
podcast.
Oh my God.
See you next year.
See you next week.
See you next week for the Formula 3 roundup. Ta-ra for now.